Hello buddy, it's Bendominator and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video, I am doing another speed build, and it has been kind of a long time since I did one of these, but I thought I would kind of just jump in and do another one. And yeah, of course this is just going to be like the others, kind of freeform commentary video, non-scripted, just me kind of rambling as you watch the footage in the background play out. So I apologize if I mince my words, and as I say that, of course I do. But anyway, in today's video we're doing a racetrack map, which a lot of people have done before, especially with these brand new pieces, which is the main reason I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this when these pieces came out, but I really haven't had the time or chance to, so I finally sat down and said, hey, let's do this, let's make a racetrack. Because yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart lately, for whatever reason, I don't know why. But I was like, hey, you know, I've been playing Mario Kart with some friends and stuff, and I'm like, you know, I've been kind of inspired to make a racetrack map. So I decided to do just that, and yeah, kind of in the vein of Mario Kart, a simple kind of circuit map, you know, maybe something you would see at the start of a Mario Kart game. And yeah, I made the decision to also use the ATKs for this map, which probably wasn't a great idea. I mean, I still have a chance to change that since the map the map is not published as of now. The devices are not nearly finished, so I'm not sure when that stuff's gonna get done, but I do want to publish this eventually. So I have plenty of time before I release this to kind of change up the vehicles here, but you can see me right now just kind of building the layout of the track. I wanted to make sure I had the layout before I built any of the stuff around it. And yeah, what you're seeing now isn't very, I'm building right now a piece of track that ends up in the final version, but it does change quite a bit throughout the development of this layout here, because I didn't really come in with a plan. I kind of just sat down and started building a layout. But I wanted to make something that had a lot of good turns for you to drift around, which is why I chose the ATKs, and as you can see, there's the final layout there, and I deleted some other pieces that I was gonna make it a lot longer, but I decided not to. And like is the speed of the ATKs. They're not very fast, but I chose them because I like the drifting. And I think what I'll be able to do is put some kind of speed boost on the ATKs, so that when you play, you can actually have a speed boost. I assume I would be able to do that with the speed modifiers, and do some kind of pre-game lobby where you kind of get your speed modifier. But of course, it looks really fast with the sped up footage, but it is very slow in real time. But it is super fun to drift around these corners, so I wanted to make kind of a good track that you could kind of drift around, have a lot of good drifting room and all that kind of stuff, and I think it turned out pretty well when it comes to the layout. And then after this, you'll see me kind of design the actual track, or like the actual nature and everything, the terrain and all that kind of stuff, of course using the brand new terrain for this, which I had a lot of fun doing. Though the terrain isn't too varied, it is kind of cool because I wanted to make this more like a plains area. Again, something reminiscent of what you might see in a Mario Kart game, and kind of just give it that vibe. But yes, I did end up using the new terrain. I think here I'm kind of looking for some props that I can use as well. But yeah, overall, it has been a while since I've been doing the speed build videos, but I do enjoy doing them a lot. It's just the commentary videos are a lot, kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say they're more fun to make, but they definitely are, like, just, they feel better for me to make. These videos definitely are not what I'm used to, but I do enjoy doing them. It's just not what I want the channel to be fully, but I am glad that you guys enjoy them a lot, and I'm glad to be making them. So a weird thing that I have to do with these new terrain pieces now is, like, you can't place stuff under the barrier anymore, which is very frustrating, and I hope that they fix that, but I don't know, it might be an intentional thing. So it is kind of frustrating. You can't place things under the barrier, so you have to shrink them down like this, which for this wasn't really a huge deal. It's just kind of a pain that you have to do that to begin with. I miss being able to place stuff under the barrier. It was really nice because you don't have to shrink everything down and worry about that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can see me kind of making the ground around the track here, and yeah, the majority of this build was doing all the decorating and all that kind of stuff. Because, yeah, the track itself isn't really anything too complicated, nothing too crazy like I've done in the past with track design. Because I made a racing map, I did like a whole stream thing where I made a racing map, which took me much longer than this did, by the way, and I don't think turned out nearly as well. But it was kind of when the cars first came out into creative, we had these, the ability to make these racing maps with the new devices that they came out with. And long story short, I did a whole stream of it. I did like multiple streams. Super successful streams, by the way. Probably some of the most successful streams I've ever done. Tons of fun, but the map ended up just not working because there are a lot of... I designed it to be like, you know, a map where you could kind of fall off, and if you fell out of bounds, you could like have to respawn, but just the devices weren't working for it, and the barriers were off, and everything was like off-grid, and it was just a huge mess. But it was a lot of fun to make. And yeah, unfortunately that map will probably never be finished or published, but this one probably will be, just not anytime soon probably, because I gotta get all the devices done and stuff. But yeah, overall it's a lot more functional, and yeah, the reason I bring that up is because this map is a lot simpler because I didn't make things like pitfalls or ramps or stuff like that. Well, that would have been fun. It's just a pain to do the devices for all that kind of stuff. Set up barriers. Maybe in the future I'll make some more difficult tracks, but this one's very simple. Just wanted to make it fun, simple, colorful, and it just add a lot of nice turns that you can drift around. So yeah, now you're seeing me kind of do the background, adding kind of these hills, Mario-esque hills in the background. I really love this piece for hills. It's just a nice slanted piece that I love to size it up and just make these nice hills in the background, a little jagged, which I think works really well for this type of thing. And yeah, they just look really good. I think I could have probably resized them a bit more, had some more variety in the size, but I do try to rotate them and give them a bit more depth. And you'll see me later placing some other terrain pieces that also add to the depth and kind of the detail of the hills around it. But even then, it just, you can kind of see it start to come together, and the inspiration becomes very clear once you kind of see these things being put in place. And that's another thing, I just really love this new terrain. Every time I use it in one of these speed builds, I just always find myself just gushing about it because it's so good. And the fact that they finally added buildable pieces, that's really helpful. Because, yeah, I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of really good mini BRs with this terrain. And while I do think that the original terrain has its merits, this is definitely an improvement. This is definitely an improvement. So, yeah, excited about that. But yeah, yeah, you can see me kind of adding these around to mix things up a little bit, not make everything feel like the same piece, make it less apparent that everything's copy and pasted, because you want to do everything in your power to kind of make these things feel a bit more natural, make these hills feel a bit more natural, all that kind of stuff. And just being able to combine these pieces so seamlessly is such a nice bonus to this terrain. And yeah, it just feels so much better. It feels so much fun to make terrain. I don't know if this is something I mentioned before with the brand new terrain pieces, but I feel like terraining to most people never really felt fun before, and well, I definitely don't hate doing terrain. This new terraining makes it feel fun, you know? It makes it feel really good, and I just love how it works, and I just, every time I use it, I can't get over how good it is. I can't get over it. And I'm hoping we see some more style options for it in the future. And hopefully, I do kind of hope we see some more classic looking terrain pieces in this style. I hope we see some more Chapter 1, Chapter 2-esque pieces. Because these terrain pieces, the main issue that I have with them is that they don't even fit, like, they don't even look like they would be in normal VR. They feel like they would be in Unreal Engine. And while that's cool for creative, if you're trying to make something that's more reminiscent of actual Fortnite, it doesn't work very well. But for something like this, it works perfectly fine. I just kind of want a less realistic style terrain. That's like the only thing I would ask for. But other than that, these pieces are fantastic. And I know they've been out for a while, but I still can't get over it. They're just really fun to use. So yeah, now I'm placing trees. I went for the kind of pine tree look. I wanted to make those feel a bit more summery, but you know, I wanted to kind of keep it to the Mario Kart vibe. So you see a lot of kind of pine trees in Mario Kart, it seems like, and sometimes just standard oak trees and all that kind of stuff. But just simple, cartoony like trees. And I had some like palm trees at the start to kind of give it that. You know, I had like the boardwalk sign and everything, and in hindsight, it doesn't really fit too well. But you know, I think for the start, what I wanted to do, I kind of wanted to make this a bit more summer themed, but I ended up kind of making it a bit more standard, a bit more Mario Kart-esque, which I think works in its favor, because I think something like this does kind of fit the more standard grasslands, green hills kind of vibe that I was going for. But yeah, you can kind of see like the whole nature of this starting to take shape, adding some bushes, adding some trees, and I'm going to the props, adding some like different racing type stuff around the map. If I had more time to do this, I definitely would have added like more stands and stuff in the background. Kind of made this feel more like a stadium, but I kind of wanted to keep it. No, I don't want to spend like a million years on this, so I didn't make any custom buildings, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it worked out pretty well anyway, because, you know, it's not supposed to be like a giant stadium. I just would have added like a few of those kind of, what do you call them, like the bleacher buildings that they have in like the old Gus track and stuff. And you can even see me trying to see how the prefab would look, but I just didn't want to risk placing the prefab and having it look terrible. So I just didn't place the prefab at all. But maybe I would have benefited from trying that, maybe putting it off grid and stuff like that. Always chance to revisit this, because again, it is not published, the devices are not finished, so I can always come back to it in the future, finish some things up, and then publish it when I'm ready to. But yeah, I think I'm just kind of looking for some more props. I wanted to get some good prop variety. You see I added those flags around, which I think was good, but I was looking for some other things. There's also a long straightaway in the map that I think I ended up adding like some obstacles to, just some kind of crates. Oh, and then you see me here adding a mountain, which I think I was just looking through, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna add a mountain for now. Don't know if that was a great idea or not, but you know, it's there, and it looks good because this new terrain, again, is awesome. But I don't know really why I decided. I don't really know. I think I just wanted to make a mountain because I can't resist with this terrain. I always can. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just kind of random for there to be a mountain there in hindsight, but you know, I think it looks good. I think it's cool. Adds a bit more interesting diversity to the terrain around it. Maybe gives a bit of a landmark to kind of race around. So overall, I think it's a good addition. And then, yeah, you can see me kind of racing on the map as I added a few more props, and this is sped up slightly. So this is obviously faster than it would be. I wanted to speed up the footage, just give an idea of what I wanted this to feel like. And then once I add the devices and stuff, put speed modulators and stuff, then this hopefully will be around the speed that you'll go. If I can't get that to work with ATKs, I'll just use the standard cars, but I just really wanted to have the ATKs for the drifting. But you see I had some extra signs here around the map. Just some extra little details, nothing too crazy. And yeah, overall, I think it turned out really well. There's definitely more I could do with it, but for kind of a speed build, I mean, this is like an hour-and-a-half build. I think it turned out really well, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm definitely going to try and revisit this when I can, and hopefully get it published for you guys, so you guys can race with your friends on this Mario Kart-inspired course. But yeah, anyway, you guys can enjoy the rest of the footage, kind of see the entirety of the map overview. And yeah, I'll see you guys next one. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my supporter creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.